Welcome to In Conversations, presented by the Children's Trust and Miami Community Newspapers. I am Amanda Gorski, Associate Director of Public Policy for the Children's Trust. And with me today is Rachel Spector, Director of Programs for the Children's Trust and our resident expert in early childhood education. If you're a parent of children under the age of 5, we understand how difficult it is to find high-quality early child care for them. This is why we're here today. We know that families spend an average of $1,100 a month for one child just for child care services. We know that families are often faced with financial struggles and difficult choices when it comes to leaving their children in good quality care. Well, welcome, Rachel.
Thank you.
Please talk to me a little bit about the difference in the misconception of childcare being babysitting and high quality early learning.
Sure. Well, I would say that childcare or early learning or early childcare and education, as I like to say, is one of the wisest investments a community can make. Investing in early learning for young children ensures that children are kindergarten ready. Kindergarten ready children ensure that children are on the path to later life success, both in school and in life in general. And since we know that the research shows that 90% of a child's brain is developed by the time they're 5 years old, clearly the first 5 years of a child's life are some of the most important formative years for a children's later life success.
Well, as prices continue to rise in this community, we know that childcare, of course, rises as well. How can we offset the cost, and how does the cost of childcare impact parents and families?
Well, the Children's Trust has many strategies, which I'm hoping that we'll discuss later about how to offset the cost. But the high cost of childcare is a big dilemma for families because it forces them to make very difficult decisions. If you cannot afford to pay for childcare, or if you have more than one child under the age of 5, it's a choice about, is it worth it almost for me, as a parent to go to work? It disproportionately affects women, who are typically then the person to stay home and care for children. Families have to make difficult choices about housing. Can we have a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom? Do we have enough to enroll in enrichment activities? Do we have to, make choices about paying the basic necessities over childcare? So it really puts parents in a difficult place when they're having to make these tough decisions.
The Children's Trust developed the quality improvement system Thrive by 5. Can you talk to us a little bit about that initiative?
Sure. We developed this initiative back in 2018, really to ensure that all children in our community have access to high quality early learning experiences, regardless of their zip code. So we want children to be ready when they enter kindergarten, and that doesn't only mean knowing your ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, right? That means that you're able to interact with your peers, that you're able to sit in chairs, that you're ready to learn, essentially. And the skills that they gain in early learning programs are essential for that.
So Thrive by 5 covers multiple aspects of a child's life and a family's life. Can you talk to us about the different holistic approaches that Thrive by 5 touches on?
Yeah, so we focus on all aspects of the early learning experience. So we intervene at different levels of the ecosystem. We have supports that are at the childcare or the organizational level, at the educator level, and at the family level and at the child level. So all of the array of strategies that we fund in our community innovatively make up a holistic approach to quality childcare.
And the touch point for the family and child is referred to Families for Child Care Scholarships, right? So could you tell me a little bit about how the scholarships assist family and it offsets some of the financial struggles that families might be facing?
Sure. Families Forward is one of the ways we support families. There is a federal child care subsidy program in Florida. It's called the School Readiness Program. This program supports families up to 150% of the federal poverty rate, which we know is very, very low. And we know the cost of living in Miami-Dade County is very, very high. So, for example, a family, a two-parent family where both parents are making minimum wage, which is not enough to raise a family on, do not qualify for the school readiness program. So our Families Forward program was developed in order to support working families who still cannot afford the high cost of quality childcare. Our scholarships are available to families up to 300% of the federal poverty rate. And our program was designed to remove barriers for families. So the scholarship is good for 2 years. We really want to support families so that they're able to move up the economic scale and improve their economic self-sufficiency, and not need to rely on public benefits if they are, or be able to take the salary increase at their job that won't make them lose any of the subsidies. And so we're encouraging families to pursue their dreams, become economically self-sufficient. And to do so, we're offering the scholarship for 2 years. It's not a free scholarship by any means. There is a weekly co-payment of $70, but for families that have multiple children, it really means that they can invest in other necessities in their life. Maybe a family of 4 doesn't need to live in a 1-bedroom apartment, or they're able to enroll their children in dance or soccer, what have you, but it really alleviates stress in the family to have a more healthy, cohesive family unit.
And in Thrive by 5, the professional development piece, Ascend, how does that impact teachers?
So the issue is, this is a very complicated issue, and it's not only about families, and it's not only about affording childcare, because remember, childcare is a private business for the most part. So these are small businesses in our community, and they have fixed costs, and their costs are also rising, right? So if they don't own the property, which many childcare facilities rent, those costs have gone up. The labor market has gone up. Unfortunately, early learning educators do not experience pay parity with K-12 educators. And so many of them themselves are struggling and accessing public benefits as well. So it's difficult for childcare owners to maintain high quality educators, which obviously translates into a high quality early learning experience. And so a second program that we developed last year is called Ascend, and it is a salary supplement program to award educators for their longevity in the field and at their place of employment, for their ongoing commitment to professional development and to their competency of delivering high quality early learning experiences in the classroom. So we developed an app, and they are able to apply 2 times per year for this salary supplement. It ranges from $100 up to $3,000 every 6 months. So when you're talking about educators that earn $15 an hour, $6,000 a year on top of that is a big bonus and an incentive for them to, continue in their employment and continue to improve their practice, which benefits children.
And what are the long-term impacts of a high-quality early learning scenario for a child?
So, I mean, in my opinion, the first 5 years of your life is sort of, setting you up for later life success. So if you, reach all of those milestones and acquire all of the skills and you're ready to enter kindergarten, then that is just going to make your school career and your later life career that much more positive. It's very hard. Like the older the child gets, the harder it is to make up time. And make up gaps in learning. So we already know that if you're not ready for kindergarten, most likely you're not going to be reading on grade level by grade 3, which means you're most likely not going to be reading on grade level in grade 8. And it just like exasperates the problem. So if we could really focus on getting all of our children ready for kindergarten, because we know in Florida and Miami-Dade County, we're about halfway there, that would really benefit our community as a whole, of course, because these young learners are our next workforce, right? They're going to be the kids that are going to graduate high school and enter our workforce. So it's a much better fiscal investment to invest early than invest later, right? I would vouch for investing in high quality early learning programs and not prisons and, rehabilitation centers.
The Children's Trust is leading in this area as a best practice model statewide. And we all know that working in silos does not benefit anyone. And the Children's Trust has been fortunate enough to bring together local and state partners in order to address this crisis, this child care crisis and financial crisis for families. Could you talk to us a little bit about the importance of the partnerships in order to make Thrive by 5 QIS happen and how we can continue to work together to move the needle forward in our community?
Yes. So Thrive by 5 is definitely a community initiative. We have an advisory committee that is made up of early learning owners and directors. And so we highly value their input in every aspect of our system. We have not designed one component of this initiative without beneficiary feedback. So we want to make sure that, the strategies that we're offering and employing on the ground are actually making a difference, and the strategies that educators, owners, directors, children, families, and everyone needs. We have immense partnerships all over the community. We work with the Early Learning Coalition of Miami-Dade and Monroe County to operate our Families Forward Child Scholarship Program. We also just launched a joint venture, Elevate Ed, to track all of our professional development and make all professional development accessible to educators. Educators can also apply for scholarships to pursue higher education courses or other trainings. We also have a partnership with University of Miami Mailman Center. They implement our Jumpstart program, which is also impacting at the organizational, child, and family level. They're really working on social emotional wellness and helping to support programs that have children with challenging behaviors and ensure that their policies are appropriate and supportive of both children, families, and the staff working in their program. We also partner with United Way of Miami. They operate our CAPE program, which is really working on ongoing observations of children to ensure that they're learning and they're developing, and that we're observing their learning and individualizing the education for all of the children. And then we have other partners from the business community, the Miami Chamber. We have a Fiscal Cliff Collaborative, which we lead alongside our partners at the Children's Movement, the Beacon Council, the Early Learning Coalition, and many, many others, to really move the needle and engage the business community, because this is a workforce issue. It is a education issue. It sort of encompasses all the different areas of what make a community thrive.
I think it's very clear that we have set the tone that early childhood education is very important. It's precedent for a child's success in school and later in life choices. It's also important to keep the work pipeline growing in our community. We want to keep the workforce here and present. And we want to keep families thriving, and we want them to build equity. I think that our Thrive by 5 quality improvement system and the partnerships that we have in the community and statewide, we're all moving forward in that direction and changing the tone on it's not babysitting, but high quality early learning, which the trust, leads. And we're very happy to do so and provide resources to families and teachers to access. And we invite everybody in the community to visit the ChildrensTrust.org/Thrive by 5 for more resources and information on our Thrive by 5 quality improvement system. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Thank you to one of our key partners, Miami Community Newspapers, for hosting this podcast today. For more information on our Thrive by 5 quality improvement system, please visit thechildrenstrust.org/Thrive by 5. And we look forward to more opportunities to participate in conversations. Thank you.